The low-lit bar glows with secrets, the air heavy with citrus cleaner and aged wood. Lila and I settle into our seats, seeking a brief respite from the week's relentless demands. The dim light casts long shadows, highlighting the weariness etched on our faces. Glasses clink softly, breaking the silence as we prepare for our quick, shared escape. A fleeting moment of peace descends, a fragile bubble against the world outside. The scent of spirits fills the air, a promise of temporary oblivion. In the low-lit bar, Lila accidentally bumps into Noah, disrupting his detached observation of the basketball game. "Oh, excuse me, I am so sorry," Lila exclaims, her voice a ripple in the bar's muted atmosphere. Noah responds with casual indifference. "No problem, happens all the time, especially in places like this." Lila jests. "I guess I am just not very good at navigating dimly lit spaces. Or maybe it is the shoes," Noah retorts with a grin. "Could be both, though I would blame the bar's ambiance before your footwear." Their eyes meet for a brief moment, a spark of connection amidst the bar's dim anonymity. In the dimly lit bar, Noah turns, his eyebrows lifting slightly as if seeing me anew. A spark of curiosity flickers in his eyes, hinting at an unexpected connection. Words begin to flow easily between us, revealing shared interests and mirrored experiences. The low light casts long shadows, emphasizing the burgeoning connection between two souls. Inside the dimly lit bar, the scent of stale beer hangs heavy as I watch Noah across the table, a storm brewing in his eyes. I swirl the ice in my glass, the clinking a stark contrast to the silence stretching between us. Shadows dance under Noah's eyes as he recounts the end, his voice a low, weary hum. "It was quiet, but heavy. That's the only way I can describe it," he says, his gaze lost in the amber liquid. The dim light casts long shadows, amplifying the unspoken words and unspoken hurts in the stale air. "Just so we're clear, I'm not looking for anything serious," I say, the words hanging in the air, sharp and decisive. In the dimly lit bar, Lila subtly excuses herself, sensing an unspoken connection between Noah and me. Her departure feels natural, yet it leaves a palpable void as Noah and I remain alone. A silent, significant moment hangs in the air, thick with unspoken possibilities. I feel an undeniable, strange pull towards Noah, a magnetic force drawing us closer. The low lights of the bar cast long shadows, enhancing the intimacy of our sudden solitude. The clock radio blinks 11:58 p.m. in Noah's dimly lit apartment, time slowing to a crawl. Shadows dance across the walls, whispering secrets in the hushed stillness. A palpable tension fills the space, a shared desire lingering in the air. No grand gestures, just the unspoken promise of something about to begin. The air crackles with anticipation, heavy with unspoken words and longing glances. In the quiet of the night, their connection deepens, a silent understanding. The scene opens in Noah's apartment, a space defined by unspoken expectations. Before anything unfolds, a set of rules is silently laid out, shaping the night's trajectory. The narrator sets the terms, a carefully constructed agreement hanging in the air. One night, no awkward brunch, the narrator states, drawing a clear boundary. No checking in next week, the narrator continues, reinforcing the ephemeral nature of their encounter. Noah says nothing, leaving the weight of the agreement to settle between them. A kiss lingers, drawing out the moment with unspoken desire. Warmth envelops them, an unhurried intimacy blossoming in the soft light. The night unfolds, promising shared secrets and quiet joys. A sense of belonging fills the room, a haven from the outside world. In the dimly lit apartment, Noah and I lean in, our faces close, breaths mingling in a comfortable silence. The air is thick with unspoken words, soft murmurs punctuating the quiet intimacy. I share a childhood secret, a story untold until this very moment. A kiss deepens, a shared moment of raw, vulnerable connection. Lost in each other's presence, we savor the fleeting intimacy, a world of our own. Morning light streams into Noah's apartment, illuminating the peaceful scene. Waking up in Noah's bed, a sense of calm washes over her. Noah lies beside her, his face turned towards her in sleep. A feeling of well-being, absent for weeks, returns, filling her with renewed hope. Morning light spills into Noah's apartment, casting long shadows that emphasize the room's starkness. A palpable silence hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken words and suppressed emotions. There are no lingering goodbyes, no promises whispered in the morning air. The absence of last names echoes the deliberate distance maintained between them. A conscious avoidance of future meetings underscores the finality of their encounter. Each movement is precise, measured, a silent agreement to keep their connection fleeting. In Noah's apartment, numbers are exchanged, framed as a safety net against the unknown. The air is thick with unspoken possibilities as the exchange concludes. Leaving before 9, a serene calm washes over him, a stark contrast to the uncertainty. He steps out, embracing the quiet morning, a sense of control firmly in his grasp. The clock shows 11:42 a.m., a silent apartment, save for the faint hum of the city outside. I stare intently at my phone, a sense of anticipation hanging heavy in the air. The screen illuminates my face, reflecting the nervous anticipation swirling within. A text message from Noah flashes across the screen, disrupting the morning calm. I know we said no follow-up, but I just found your earring in my bed, the message reads, sparking a whirlwind of emotions. My eyes widen slightly at the text message, surprise flickering across my face. Caught off guard? My inner voice whispers, betraying my carefully constructed calm. Fingers flying, I compose a response, trying to mask the surprise, trying to downplay the situation. I remind myself, forcing nonchalance into each word. The message sent, I brace myself, the calm facade masking a storm of anticipation. Days later, inside Noah's apartment, the glow of his phone illuminates his face as he crafts another text. He attaches a photo, a snapshot of a dog he encountered on his commute to work. A simple moment shared. With each message, the boundaries between reality and digital connection become increasingly indistinct. The line between the virtual and the real blurs as Noah loses himself in the digital world. Sunlight streams into the apartment, illuminating the quiet solitude. Dust motes dance in the golden rays. I sit on the couch, phone in hand, the screen glowing softly, a silent invitation to connect. Another text message notification appears, Noah's name flashing across the screen. Another text from Noah, a question about a book I mentioned. I think, my brow furrowing slightly. The messages are thoughtful and arrive at unexpected times. I muse, a hint of intrigue in my eyes. The phone vibrates gently in my hand, a subtle reminder of the connection forming beyond the screen. Stripes of city light cut through the dim apartment, painting shadows across the walls as I sit in silence. The cold light of my phone illuminates my face, reflecting the turmoil within. A simple text from Noah burns into my retinas. How's your day? Each word carries a weight, an unspoken anxiety that settles heavy in my stomach. I tell myself I'm overthinking, projecting my own fears onto something innocent, but the doubt lingers, a shadow stretching long and dark in the quiet room. Setting sun paints long shadows across the room. Exhaustion clings to me as my phone vibrates, breaking the silence. Noah's text pierces through the quiet. Do you ever feel like you're pretending you're fine? Each word hangs heavy in the dim light, a stark mirror to my own carefully constructed facade. Because it's easier than explaining the truth? The question echoes in the stillness, a painful acknowledgement. In my apartment, the muffled city hum underscores the solitude, a stark backdrop to the heavy silence. I sit on the couch, the weight of unspoken words pressing down, filling the room with unspoken tension. Lost in thought, the room feels smaller. The air thickens with the gravity of the moment. Finally, I break the silence, the words a soft whisper. All the time. Weeks blur into a montage of texts. The screens glow, the only light in my room. Each message from Noah is a beacon, drawing me further into his world. His words paint vivid pictures of his sister, filling the silence with shared stories. The darkness amplifies the intimacy, each detail a brushstroke on the canvas of connection. I am lost in the glow, in the rhythm of our digital dance. as the night deepens. Dim light casts long shadows across the room, highlighting the quiet intimacy of the scene. Noah sits immersed in memory, his face a canvas of thoughtful melancholy. He begins to recount a past relationship, his voice barely a whisper in the stillness. A palpable sadness hangs in the air as he relives old emotions. My last relationship taught me how quiet loneliness could be, Noah confesses softly. The weight of unspoken words fills the space between them, heavy with reflection. Dim light paints the apartment in shadows, highlighting the tense silence between me and Noah. My hands are clasped tight, a silent plea amidst unspoken fears. I'm just so afraid of settling, I confess, the words hanging heavy in the air, something that looks right on the surface, but feels completely wrong inside. Weeks later, inside my apartment, a phone buzzes on the coffee table, the sound cutting through the quiet. Lila's eyes dart to the screen, her expression unreadable as Noah's name glows. A pregnant pause hangs in the air, thick with unspoken questions and lingering doubts. Lila's gaze intensifies, a hint of challenge in her voice. One-time thing, huh? Her words hang in the air, a subtle accusation, a silent demand for honesty. Inside my apartment, I blurt out, words tripping over each other in a desperate attempt to explain. It was a one-time thing, I insist, my voice laced with a nervous energy that betrays my words. Lila's silence hangs heavy in the air, her expression unreadable as she absorbs my frantic denial. A subtle smile plays on Lila's lips, a silent acknowledgement of the gap between my words and reality. Lila's eyes search mine, seeking the truth hidden beneath my hurried explanation. Lila's smile widens slightly, a clear sign that she remains unconvinced by my rushed explanation. In my apartment, Lila remains still, a respectful distance maintained. Her stillness speaks volumes, a silent acknowledgement of unspoken boundaries. The air is thick with unspoken words, yet a sense of understanding prevails. A quiet moment of mutual respect hangs in the balance. The room is filled with a fragile peace, a testament to unspoken agreements. Her compliance is a balm to my weary soul. Sunlight floods the apartment, each dust mote illuminated like a tiny star. The phone glows in my hand, Noah's message a beacon in the quiet room. No pressure, the message reads, yet the words hang heavy with unspoken invitation. But if you ever want to talk without autocorrect interfering, I'd like that. In my small apartment, my heart races with a confusing mix of hope and anxiety as I stare intently at the message on my phone. A moment of internal conflict plays across my face as I consider the implications of the message. Narration? I reply. With a deep breath, I type a response, trying to mask my true feelings with a casual suggestion. Me. Coffee sounds safe, I send, hoping to keep things simple and avoid the deeper emotions swirling within me. Sunlight bathes the quiet cafe as I approach. It's Sunday, and a sense of peaceful anticipation hangs in the air. I spot Noah. He is waiting, his silhouette framed by the window. A rush of familiarity washes over me, mixed with an unexpected sense of novelty. Our eyes meet, a silent acknowledgement passing between us. He rises, a warm smile gracing his lips. The world seems to fade as we reconnect the cafe, a backdrop to our reunion. A brief, polite hug in the quiet cafe, a silent promise hanging in the air. 2 hours unfold between them, filled with unspoken words and charged silences. Nothing physical, yet the intensity builds, a palpable connection forming. Each glance, each subtle gesture, amplifies the unspoken emotions. The air crackles with a restrained energy, a silent dialogue of desire and longing. Sunlight warms the sidewalk outside, a quiet cafe as I try to smile, but a familiar dread creeps in. A nervous smile wavers as anxiety tightens its grip, casting a shadow over the serene setting. A voice echoes within, a stark warning cutting through the facade. This is where you mess it up. The cafe's tranquility is juxtaposed with the internal turmoil, a battleground of hope and fear. Night envelops my apartment, a silent witness to the unspoken rules I'm about to shatter. My fingers hover over the screen, a digital frontier where vulnerability meets defiance. Each tap feels like a step off a cliff. The anticipation, a mix of fear and exhilaration. I break the silence, Reaching out to Noah, a message sent into the digital void. The glow of the screen illuminates my face, reflecting the hope and anxiety swirling within. Now, all that's left is to wait, the quiet of the apartment amplifying the weight of my decision. Weeks drift by in the soft glow of my apartment, a haven of quiet routines and unspoken agreements. An unnamed space, carefully curated, where friendship blurs into something more deliberate. A comfortable rhythm settles between us, a dance of cautious steps and shared silences. Neither dating nor simple friendship, but a space in between, defined by its gentle boundaries. Our arrangement is a delicate balance, a tacit understanding that hangs in the air like unspoken words. In this unnamed space, we find solace in the predictability, a comforting escape from the unknown. Nights blur in my apartment. The glow of the screen illuminates the quiet solitude. Some nights are filled with endless texts until our phone screens dim. Other days, silence stretches between us, a mutual respect for personal space. A delicate balance of connection and independence fills the air. Days later, inside my apartment, a sense of defeat hangs heavy in the air. Feeling small, each challenge looms large, casting long shadows. Driven by an impulse, I find myself setting out, a destination forming unbidden. Without conscious thought, my feet guide me towards Noah's place. A silent hope flickers within, a fragile beacon in the dimness. Noah opens the door, his face lighting up with surprise and a warm smile. His arms wrap around me in a hug, a silent expression of profound relief. The embrace deepens, a sanctuary found in shared connection and unspoken understanding. In the soft glow of the apartment, the hug lingers, a beacon of hope. The room is dimly lit, casting long shadows that dance with the silence, filling Noah's apartment with unspoken words. Across from Noah, the air crackles with a quiet electricity, a palpable tension that binds and teases. A sense of comfort begins to bloom, softening the edges of the room and enveloping us in warmth. Understanding deepens the shared space, a silent agreement passing between two souls in the dim light. The heavy silence is now a comforting embrace, a shared moment of peace in the quiet of the night. Sunlight floods Noah's room, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Tangled in sheets, Noah awakens, a sense of disorientation clouding his eyes. The weight of reality crashes down, a stark reminder of the day ahead. Gone is the illusion of a fleeting night. This is the stark light of morning. A deep breath fills his lungs as he confronts the dawn and its challenges. Determination flickers in his eyes, a silent promise to face the day. The embrace breaks, a silent acknowledgement hanging in the air. I pull away, a knot of dread tightening in my chest. My hands tremble slightly as I break the connection. I can't do this, I whisper, the words barely audible. My voice cracks, betraying the turmoil within. The weight of the unspoken hangs heavy between us. Inside Noah's apartment, the air hangs heavy with unspoken words. Noah's shoulders slump slightly, a silent admission of defeat. He speaks softly, his voice tinged with resignation. I get it, Noah says, a flicker of pain crossing his features. I don't want to be the thing that makes your life harder, he admits. Noah's apartment fades behind me, each step echoing the hollowness growing inside. The air hangs heavy, a suffocating blanket of unspoken words and missed chances. An invisible thread snaps, severing ties to something vital, yet frustratingly intangible. I reach out, grasping at shadows, desperate to reclaim what slips through my fingers. The feeling settles, a cold stone in my chest, a constant reminder of what's been lost. Days later, in my quiet apartment, the glow of the phone fades. The last message sent. The silence after our text is deafening, a stark contrast to the lively banter we once shared. Each unread message is a monument to unspoken words. I stare at the screen, the blank space mocking our former connection. It's for the best, I whisper, trying to convince myself that distance is a form of healing. The apartment feels emptier, the absence of digital connection, a heavy weight in the air. Sunlight paints stripes across the room, but the silence screams louder than any sound as I stare at my phone, desperate for a sign. Each buzz ignites a spark of hope that quickly dies, leaving behind a heavier weight of unspoken words and unanswered questions. My fingers trace the faded lines of his face in an old photograph, clinging to a memory that feels like a lifetime ago. The apartment echoes with the ghost of his laughter, a hollow reminder of the joy that once filled these empty rooms. Months later, the phone screen illuminates, displaying his name. A sudden, overwhelming wave of emotion washes over me. The apartment fades as his name echoes in my mind. A silent question hangs in the air, unanswered. In the dim apartment, the phone's glow paints Noah's face with a soft light, his eyes fixed on the screen. The message burns into his mind, each word a lingering echo of unspoken emotions. "I know this is out of the blue," the text begins, each word carrying the weight of the past. "I just wanted you to know I still think about you," Noah reads, a flicker of hope in his eyes. The final words, "No reply needed," hang in the air, a bittersweet ending to a heartfelt message. Noah stares at the screen, the silence of his apartment amplifying the emotions swirling within him. In my apartment, the silence is deafening, broken only by the tap of my fingers on the keyboard. Despite the distance, an invisible thread pulls me, compelling me to reply. Each word typed is a subtle act of defiance against my better judgment. The screen glows, casting a stark light on my face, reflecting the turmoil within. A silent admission hangs in the air. The connection remains, an undeniable force. I hit send, a mix of hope and trepidation swirling in my heart as the message flies. Dim light casts long shadows across the room, highlighting the unspoken tension. A fragile honesty hangs palpably between me and the figure across from me. "We talk honestly this time," I say, the words hanging in the air like a fragile promise. I confess about fear and timing, the barriers that have kept us apart. Some connections refuse to be boxed in, defying logic and circumstance. Weeks later, sunlight paints my apartment, illuminating dust motes in a dance of light and tranquility. A sense of quiet accomplishment fills me as I scan the meticulously ordered room. Each object finds its place, each corner gleams with care. The air hangs still and undisturbed. We don't rush, I reflect. A slow, deliberate approach to rebuilding. Sunlight floods the apartment, illuminating dust motes as I face him. A comfortable space filled with unspoken words. We choose each other slowly. I reflect, the air thick with a quiet understanding between us. A conscious decision hangs in the air, a silent pact to embrace the uncertainty ahead. Our eyes meet, acknowledging the unspoken journey we are embarking on together. Step by deliberate step, soft lighting casts a warm glow across the bustling restaurant, where the murmur of voices and clinking glasses fill the air. A nostalgic smile touches my lips as I trace the rim of my wine glass, lost in a sea of memories. This is where it all began, in this very place, where fate intertwined our paths. A shared secret hangs heavy in the air, a silent testament to the bond we forged. The weight of unspoken words lingers between us, a delicate dance of what was and what could be. In this moment, time stands still, as the past and present converge in a symphony of emotions. In the restaurant, the air hangs heavy with unspoken words, a tangible silence filling the space between us. I trace the rim of my glass, a quiet, contemplative gesture acknowledging our unconventional beginning. A silent agreement passes between us. The rules, the texts, remain unmentioned, buried beneath the surface. Neither of us speaks of the night that changed everything, the unspoken truth that binds and transforms. If this story lingered with you, don't let it end here. Like, save, or share it with someone who believes some connections are worth the risk. Follow for more slow burn romances, quiet intensity, and stories that start where rules fall apart.